Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Where I Went Wrong. And in this edition of Where I Went Wrong, I'll be doing Where I Went Wrong UFC Vegas 62, or you could say UFC Fight Night, Grasso versus Araujo, or Araujo, whatever the case may be. Besides the point. So, how I went on this card, I went 9 and 2 or 9 of 11. That makes two back-to-back cards that I went 9 in 2 or 9 of 11. So 9 out of 11 picks correct. Pretty solid back to back. But yeah, not too many L's on this card, just two. And really not a whole lot to note about. Was a lot to note about maybe one, but is it a bad pick? No, it was not a bad pick. Was either of those picks bad picks? They weren't bad picks. They weren't correct picks, but they weren't bad picks. And people say however they want to say it, like, oh, if it's this, that's bad, and blah blah blah. This is the nature of the game. Stuff happens. But yeah, solid night, back to back solid nights. But yeah, let's focus on the first L. Like for the first part, we got Malcolm versus Maximov. I picked Maximov by decision. Probably one of my lowest confident picks for the card. And it was a fight that like I said, I was on the fence on about. It probably been a fight like it's that close, lean to the dog, and Malcolm. He has his reasons and stuff, and he did look more well rounded. The fight in the playoff like he was more rounded. I think like Maximov's more well rounded, but he got injured and whatnot and stuff. But like Malcolm was a stronger grappler, was a more aggressive, more tenacious grappler, and that set up everything else, and led to the injury, led to the control, and led to win the fight. So in the case of lucky, Malcolm win. They fought again. Probably pick Malcolm. I would most likely pick Malcolm. So ain't no luck, or because the injury. Injury definitely helped. The fight probably been far more competitive, but it is what it is. But yeah. And this one, all I can really write it up to is this: like I needed to see them go against each other. You can say this guy's this guy that. Especially they both grapplers. Same way with striking. Like I feel like a lot of times with striking, I don't know, it's different. Like sometimes it's more clear in both things. Like you can clearly see one guy grapple versus how another guy grapple. Like, and they're both high level, but you can see how this guy grapple versus how this guy grapple. Like, oh, that guy's better. But sometimes like you don't know, and I feel like that was the case with this wrestling match or this match. Like you didn't know who necessarily. They both did the same thing for the most part. For the most part, same game plan. For around the same level of opposition. I feel like Maximov had fought more wrestlers. The actual wrestlers had done that to them, whereas Malcolm had not really fought the same. Like he fought a couple strikers and maybe like one wrestler who wrestled in high school or something. But he hadn't really fought the same level of competition. He fought like a BJJ guy. So I feel like Maximov was doing against wrestlers, so he would have the advantage there. But nonetheless, it still thought it would be a very close fight because, again, you don't know till they match up. So this really was an intel fight. I could lean one way or the other, but I wasn't strong about either way. And it seemed like Maximo just had, at least to me, seemed to have a better case on paper. Yeah, Maximo did, but yeah, it's just right down to intel. So like, take it the L as a lesson. Take that L as a lesson, and now I know. At least for now, I feel like Malcolm probably the most tenacious grappler in the division right now, at least as far as control. I feel like there's definitely maybe a couple people that's more or like more aggressive submission wise. But as far as positional and just aggression, getting down and controlling you, that's the most aggressive positional control grappler in middleweight right now by far. So yeah, maybe Bo Nickel going for finishes. He's not just going for take you down and hold you down. But we don't know until he has to fight good competition, like what he's going to evolve into or have to adjust and be. But nonetheless, yeah, that's all I can write down to. My confidence for that was in the right place. It didn't play out how I wanted to play out, but ain't too bad of a L. Like given that I was fully aware how the possibility where that fight go, and it wasn't too far from the possibility of what it like. It didn't stray too far from what could have happened. It was like either one guy gonna lay on the other guy, or this guy gonna lay on the other guy. That was like literally the only two options. And yeah, this my guy that wasn't the one laying on the other guy. Yeah. And to the, I guess the biggest L. Yeah, this is definitely the biggest L of the card. And it's only two L's, but yeah, Victor Henry versus Rafael Sunsao. So this one was weird because Sunsao put on a dominant performance. He was like 40 years old on the dot, I think, and riding a couple L's, coming off knockout losses and stuff. And Victor Henry's coming off, short notice coming and beat a pretty solid fighter in Ronnie like Barcelos in his debut on short notice. Like came in short notice and beat Ronnie Barcelos, who's still one of the better guys in the division. He's not one of the top guys. He could definitely have the potential to be a top guy in the division. Make some adjustments and whatnot. And keep doing what he's doing. And he beat that guy on short notice. Is a dog. And looked real good. But I guess the thing with this one, yeah. Where am I going with this one? But yeah. The thing with this one is, like, you got a fighter who has momentum, Victor Henry. You got a fighter whose momentum clearly not on his side. So this broke two things. It went against momentum, and it went against the age factor. So like Robert Sunsow should have been like a quick layover. Like he should have got laid on. I mean, like she got put away, or she got dominated, or she got lost clearly in this one. But he went out there and beat the younger guy, and he beat him coming off right on the L's. So like it's very odd. But I guess you really got to dig into it, like not to say, oh, statistically this should happen. Like statistically, this is the way the fight should play out, and look into like why did he win. And I guess what to me, makes sense of like that's what I'm trying to do. Like it's not just to say, well, this should not have happened. Instead of thinking this should not have happened, I'm gonna say look into why did it happen, and now I'm gonna try to make a why for it. So I guess the why in this one is that even though a Sunsao, let's just say, yeah, he's gonna ride L's and this and that, he's 40 and blah 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 and all sort of stuff, but he's riding those L's and he's 40 and all stuff. But let's kind of take those factors away to an extent, and let's look at stylistically, like what do you presenting issues for Victor Henry. So in the future, you could choose whether to fade or pick Victor Henry, or whether you could see this is a case that Rafael Sunsao can pick up some more wins, or that was just a stylistic matchup. And let's see, I think it was a stylistic matchup. That's why I like so. Just because he looked good here don't mean he's gonna look good. Guess someone else might be somebody that look, Victor Henry might beat a Sunsao, or could beat or have beaten that might be the Sunsao right now, even though he just came up a win over Henry. And it's not like just MMA math. Like what caused him to beat Victor Henry? Let's see the stylistic one. I think with Henry, very aggressive, very active, a lot of output, but maybe not the most necessarily. He's not untechnical. He's a technical fighter. He's definitely a technical fighter. Maybe came in a little bit overconfident. Yeah, that's probably another thing. But I guess the thing with Victor Henry, I would say he's not a technique fighter. He's technical, but he's not a technique fighter. He's not a clean technique fighter. At this level, he's more of aggression output fighter. And Sunsao has always been like a bantamweight, featherweight Machida. Like he's out there. He like no matter who he fights, he controls the output very well. You saw with Araujo. I think Araujo style struck him. He beat Tito Dillashaw the first time very close. Lost him the second time very close. Yeah, so like the bantamweight Machida and all that stuff, bantamweight, featherweight Machida. And the thing is, stylistically wise, a counter fighter, a guy that's good at controlling distance, good at moving, and good timing, great reads out there. You got a guy that's come for you just to give you output. And that's what counter fighters like. They like an aggressive. They don't like a guy that's gonna look at them and try to, technique with them and try to really set them up and, really pick their shots and then try, either a guy that's like technical like them or a guy that's not giving them the output they want. And they're gonna love a guy that's gonna give them the output. And that's what Henry brings. He's an output fighter, and it played into a counterpoint fighter, essentially what we can call a Sunsao, karate stylish striker type fighter with BJJ as well. But well-rounded guy. But striking wise, stylistically wise, he's a very much a guy that good, keep the output pretty low. Be in control of the pace of the fight and set up your shots and land counters on you and really just disrupt and disturb your own offense and output and kind of have you playing to his fiddle. And that's what he did against Henry. I think Henry, so people that's going to be a Sunsao are going to be people that's going to be like, very high level people and people that's really going to set their shots up, like whether they trying to mix and takedown or really just trying to set their shots up, not just, coming forward with aggression and output, but more reason behind it. And really setting shots up, really filling their shots up and creating those openings that will allow them to land their shots, and land their techniques. But yeah, so I guess the L on that one was, stylistically wise, Sunsao still, even at this age and even with concussions, well, I'm not going to say concussions, with multiple knockout losses and on a streak of L's, if you're going to be a stylistic matchup that, he can prevail against, and, stylistically, he does have advantage of, or his style is suited for his style to beat, he still could beat them. So maybe fade those matchups, but don't just get over confused like it was some mystery behind it. It definitely was upset. Definitely should have lost, like historics and stats. But even though it been said, there was still underlying a stylistic advantage that Sunsao had over Henry, and it played out. It was underlying, but it was there. It was on the table, and it played out. So it wasn't no mystery. It wasn't no luck. It was just, it is what it is. So that's all I can really say about that fight. But I don't think Assunção will go very much further. No knock on him or anything. I think Henry kind of got exposed, and this could show like, yeah, this guy could do all right. I never really was super high on like he could be a champion or really contend for a title or nothing, but it definitely puts it in perspective. Like, yeah, this guy ceiling got exposed. Clearly, like we already kind of gave him a ceiling a little bit, but now like it clearly got exposed. It sounds like he could probably stick around, maybe pick up one win, maybe 2 wins the max. But depending on how they match him up, I don't think they're gonna match him like, hey, you won, like let's give you some guys to keep you around. They really trying to kick him out the door, so they ain't trying to like say, hey, we're gonna give you these entry level guys to build your record back up. We're not giving you the Andre Arlovski approach. We're gonna give you killers. We might give you one tomato can, or if you come on short notice, we might give you two tomato cans. But for the most part, we're gonna try to get you out that door. You like 40 years old. We want some new fresh blood, but hey, we could use you as a measure stick and test some of these like real premium prospects who probably like coming in as double weight class champions and from other leagues that bantamweight or featherweight or whatnot. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, my biggest mistake was overconfidence in Victor Henry. But it's not the biggest mistake. It seemed like it was pretty sound judgment, but had to dig a little bit deeper. But I guess that also now I could give myself a little pat on the back is that I didn't go lock. I didn't go crazy like, oh, this is lock. Cause I knew how good a Sunstyle is. Like he should all very much lead, but they just still on Sunstyle. But still, all that being said, I still went high confidence, and that's not bad either. But it was underlying some path. But when guys are riding like a 4 or 5 fight losing streak or whatever amount of losing streak and 40 years old, it's kind of hard to lean them. It's like, am I ever gonna really lean to a pick like that unless it's just such a favorable stylistic match? Like even this guy on a 4 or 5 losing streak, that guy literally tailor made for him to beat. Like literally tailor made. Not like no, there's an underlying thing there, but like nah, there's a big glaring hole in this guy's game that this guy benefits at, and even on all that being said, he still should beat him. That may be the case I lean, but it is what it is. Again, went 9-2, 9-11, 2 weeks in a row, and that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.